Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, yes, actually, we have knives in front of us. Now, the main concept behind this is all knives have different kinds of shapes and everything else, but belly in particular, what's the advantage? Is there any disadvantage to a knife with some belly to it? Now, I already know the disadvantage to a thin blade, a thin knife. All knives will cut. All knives have a straight edge and will cut. Even butter knives will cut butter. But I love a Swiss Army knife. The only thing that has ever bothered me about this, and this is probably its main advantage also, is a very thin blade like that. Same way with toothpick knives and stuff like that. All of these are set up. This is a gift. Set up as thin blades, and that's what I carried. Here's the first blade. Not very many people have the very first blade that they purchased. You may have been given a blade in your life and everything, but the very first blade that you worked and purchased, that you still have when you're late in life. I'm approaching 70. So it's just amazing. And the only reason I have this is because my mom, always kept, when I went in the service, my mom kept a lot of stuff. They reconverted my room, because once I got out of the service, even before then, they knew that why keep that room as my room when I'm not there? But she kept a lot of my stuff, and this was one of them. And man, that's just amazing. Like I said, it's not through any effort of my own because I'm a good collector or anything else, but I love that knife for that reason. But it's also the very first knife that I purchased from mowing lawns. It took me one lawn to get this, or 5 days of work in the summer for my grandfather. My older sister has got some of his stuff, and she didn't know if anybody wanted it. And I said, heck yeah. Send it to me. If nobody else wants it, I like nostalgia. Even though, all right, Grandpa Mansell on my dad's side, he was around a lot longer. Grandpa Bryant, I found out later on from talking to Mom when she was in hospice, he split out on the kids and left her, basically to raise everybody. So that's why I don't remember Grandpa Bryant. That was on my mom's side. But I worked for my grandfather for a summer, $1 a day. No lie, man, no joke. Farm work. He had a small farm, and it was basically just to spend time with my grandfather. He set the terms. But back then, this was in the middle 60s. Back then, that was making bank, man, for a kid. I wasn't even a teenager at that time. So, $1 a day, man, and you get to play around. Now, it was work. For some reason, he would go out with the shovel and everything and scoop up all the horse manure. I realize now it's for compost and fertilizer. But like cows are gonna crap, man, and they crap a lot. Why you following around with a shovel? He wouldn't explain a lot of stuff. He just said this is what you do and everything. I think what he was trying to do is he knew he was gonna croak, and he wanted me around to take care of the farm for his wife. Well, that's not my job, You can't get me interested in that for $1 a day, but it was interesting. And I don't know how I got off on that tangent for nostalgic knives and stuff. But I like the thin blade concept. I really like. I'm a big fan of. Let me get one. Gee. Small knife with a thin blade. I love these little small tiny toothpicks and everything. But this one has. It's more of kind of like a clip shape than just a straight. Straight blade. But if you want a small knife, you can you can still have a small knife with some belly on it. I found the advantages to having a knife. Here's a nice little small tough one with a little bit of belly. As any chef would know and stuff like that, you can use part of your blade as like to scoop up, you know, whatever you chopped and everything. You're going to have a hard time doing that with the thin blade. And I'm not talking about thin like this. I'm talking about height. And that's what we call belly. It's not like your knife needs to go on the Fat Boy program and lose a little weight. It's got some belly in there. Now, that is almost like a spoon. You can almost eat at it. Now, you got to be careful, you know. Anytime you got a sharp knife, you know, and you're using it as an eating utensil, you got to be careful sticking that in your mouth. But you learn. You learn, or you become known as split face. All right, now I know you probably have figured out that there's going to be a lot of rambling in this video. Also, canoes. You know, canoes are another example of a fat blade. See, this one's going to even be dyed a little bit more orange. I like the way it came out, but I mean, it could have a little bit more orange to them. You know, you've got nice little scenery here, but you've got a thick blade here. Much like a spear point or something else you would have. But it's the Bowie knife shape too, you know, like in a clasp knife. And you can get them inexpensively. This is the marbles. I mean, you can pay a lot of money, or you can pay a little bit of money for stuff. As a side note, with that kudu, you know, that's another example of an inexpensive knife, right? You can see I use it for cutting. There's tape on here. I've been cutting boxes. I carry it with me. It's lightweight. A lot of people don't like it for one reason or another, probably because it, you know, it can bite you. Excuse me. But this is great, man. This is a lot of knife for very little weight and very little pocket space, actually. If it won't stand up like this in your pocket, in military pockets and stuff like that, cargo pants, it'll lay flat like that in the bottom, no sweat. You won't even feel it unless you sit down, and even then, you may not feel it. I got a bony butt now. But you got a lot of reach with this thing, man, and it's about as cheap as you can go with a knife. And who cares what the steel is? 5 CR15 MOV. A lot of people poo-poo that because they think the number is lower than 8, and it is, you know. But these are used in a lot of chef knives and stuff because they're easy to sharpen, and they can get wickedly sharp. And like I said, you got a lot of reach. So what I'm doing is I'm walking around with this in my hand a lot of times. This little ring that everybody thinks is funky, or may think is funky. Which again, you can get the Kudu Light, which doesn't have that and doesn't lock. But I carry it like this. It's kind of like a fidget thing you can have in your hand. You can twirl around. But it's also accessible. And the one-hand opening, it's not highly recommended, you know, or anything like that. But I get it to start to the first ratchet, and then I open the rest on my body, not pushing real hard, knowing that, you know, that it could cut me. But I mean, it opens real quick, and just like this, I can close it. I gotta position my finger back where I had it. What was it? The trick is you put it in like this. I guess trigger finger. No, it would be index finger. Just did it. I do it with a, if I have to think about it, man, this is crazy. And see, I'm not going to edit that out or anything because, all right, this is the way I normally carry it. And if you want to close, oh, yeah. What you're doing is you're trying to pull this up. So you have to come back here to the second notch of your hand here. Let me see. Maybe third. Yeah. Third, and you, I don't know. explaining this. I'm using two. How does this happen? Hold on a second. See, these cuts are just from me stopping and redoing it without showing you, because that's it. That's it. I knew I was carrying it around somehow, and somehow I switch it over to the index finger, and I get lost. Oh, and this is the very first, I believe, cut that I'm gonna put a poll up and everything, and just know that the cats pick their own names, all right, what they're going to respond to. So I've been calling him Stripe Face and then Stripey, because cats tend to respond. My last favorite cat's name was Sparky, so Stripey fits along with that. But I kept thinking that Scrappy is a more descriptive name, because Stripe Face is descriptive of just his appearance. In the same way with Stripey, it's just more of a slow. I don't want to have to say two words to mention, the cat, just like a one-word name, And SF, that sounds weird, like, what is he, Special Forces? Well, in a way. But Scrappy just seemed like a lot better, because he gets into scraps, man. I was just out there explaining to somebody I'd never met before who had a big old cat. I was going to give him a warning that, hey, Stripe Face, or Stripey at that time, calling him, he will fight another male cat. And as soon as I said that, Stripey's got over there and tangled with him. He was ready. Hey, who are you? And that other cat was, I'd say, 3 times his weight and size, but not with attitude. Because he likes to scrap, and scrap is, it's also kind of like a dog's name. Like, call him Scraps. Come on, Scraps. And he acts kind of like a dog by following me around. And he gets into fights. So I think that's what his name is going to be, basically. I'll put a poll up. What do you think and everything? But like I said, it's up to the cat. All right, so I know we're talking about cats a lot, and I know a lot of people thumbs down things and everything when they don't like cat content and everything. And again, all I'm just going to say is have fun. Have fun with that, It's understandable. It's feedback. I appreciate it. I appreciate it that, believe me, I grew up, I didn't like cats. It's not that I hated cats. It's just I grew up around dogs. I understood dogs. I understood how to train dogs. Dogs are your best friend. My best friend in the whole world when I was a kid was my first dog. His name was Scamp, and we got him from the SPCA. He was like a shelter dog. And, I love that dog. But I had to go to school, so while I was at school, one day I came home and, where's my dog? And they wouldn't tell me. And then eventually I found out that he'd either been shot or poisoned by a rancher because they were stealing he was killing chickens. Sometimes dogs do that. They're just, it's a game. They're not hungry. It's instinctive. Who knows what a shelter animal been raised like, but somebody poisoned him, is what basically happened. They didn't shoot him, which is, that's, you may or may not be against guns and stuff, but it's a quick way, if you know what you're doing, to dispatch an animal. But poison, especially the way this one was done, it was slow. It was like strychnine or something, and slow but sure. And that's just being cruel, anybody that does that, anybody that doesn't like animals, anybody tortures animals, anybody that doesn't have any pets, I would say don't trust them. Don't trust them with anything, with your life, your money, your car, because, sick people out there. Even I'm a badger and I got principles. Yeah. So, anyways, I have been doing content a lot, my content a lot, and there's been a reason, and there's been more than one reason. There's a lot of reasons, and we won't go through them all. But I'm recovering from it. Anybody that's been through depression, anxiety situations, physical pain, and then our whole country is going crazy. You know, I mean, it's going to stabilize, but still, it's crazy. You don't know. You don't know if you're going to make it the next day or not. But one thing I want to say right now is all the anonymous people that help support the cats. I mean, a lot of people thumbs down and everything. I've got some very generous anonymous supporters that help me feed the cats. And this is not a call for anybody to do this. The people that have been doing it, you already know who you are, and I would like to give you recognition, but anonymously, because that's the way you did this. And I understand the reason why. I understand the reason why people do anonymous donations is because you just want to help. You don't want the recognition. A lot of people will slam you for being good. They'll say, he's just promoting himself. That's just why he's doing that. He just wants to promote his channel or something. A lot of these people don't even have channels. They're so anonymous. Some of these people, I don't even know who they are. Because I just go by names I see on posts and stuff. But I mean, some people, I don't even know who they are. But still, that's how you survive hard times. It's friendships and connections. And animals can do that to you for help you also, because it serves, oh man, I'm just finding out so many ways that it's helping to have a declared pet, and I used to have a pet, but I mean, trying to sneak food in and out, or worrying about getting caught and fined and everything, just being out in the open and just dealing with it. A lot of times, I let Buddy go because I took almost a year, trying to befriend him, where he would just get to where I could pet him. It's probably was more like 6 months and stuff. But once he did, he was standoffish, but I loved that cat, man. And when he had to go, I went, oh, man. And he's not dead. Don't get me wrong. He's just been neutered and given a good home and everything. I could have done that, And then same way with Shadow. He comes along, and he was a lot rougher. He would not have been so easy to domesticate, because he loved to go to the balcony and just chill. He really was more weirded out by stuff, but he liked to drink his water, through the fountain. I love Shadow. But then he disappeared. And Stripe Face all along have been saying, hey, you want to be friends? Hey, you want to be friends? And every time when he appeared, I had Buddy and Shadow. And of course, Stripe Face, which is now Scrappy, he was one of Scrap. He didn't realize that Buddy was the top cat, and they did tangle. I don't know who won out of that, but neither one of them backed down. And Scrappy, I'm going to have to start calling him Scrappy. Scrappy, he won. He won basically who's going to be my forever friend, And what I mean by that is their life's not going to last forever. My life's not going to last forever. At my age, I could easily have a pet that outlives me, So I got a collar for him for Please, and I'm going to have to go with the put it down the back of the neck reason. And the reason for that is the collar I got from him, it was like herbal or something. Oh my God. All flea collars and stuff like that I've ever had that have any insecticide or stuff on them, they may be great and they may be good and everything, but they smell like craps. And cats have a sensitive nose. They're stronger. They can smell stuff stronger than we can. And anyways, that's not going to work with the flea collar. But he's got free reign. If he wants to go out, he can go out. If he wants to come in, he can come in. And the main reason for the collar was so that he wouldn't get run over by a cat. But he knows what he's doing. He knows about cars coming and going. All right, so before we go, see how I get all caught up in that? It's because I haven't been able to do any content because I just ran into this block. And it wasn't that I couldn't talk about things. I just had to withdraw because there was so much going on, and there still is. But there was so much that I couldn't even talk about knives. And I've got so many knives I couldn't even talk about. I'd come up with a subject, and I couldn't put in the effort because it is an effort. It's an effort to do these videos. So as a reward for you for watching this video and everything, this knife is not going to be the knife, but it's going to be the magic word, kudu. And this will be the video to respond on that, to be entered for a week. I'll let it run for a week. All you got to do is leave a comment on this video mentioning kudu somewhere. Don't mention it a bunch of times. If you want to be, if you want to be quick and dirty, you can just throw up a comment with kudu. That's all right, and you'll be entered. But I just would like it mainly to keep bots away, and with AI and all this other stuff, who knows? They may get smart enough where even that tactic doesn't work. But so far, it's worked pretty well, and it's just to keep out people from spamming and everything else. But the monthly knife giveaway, which again, friends, I have almost a little over 2,000 subscribers, and I still have the same amount of members in my membership, and I am not complaining. I use that as a thumbs up because it's something I can always figure out, around $15, So what I do is I buy a knife with the money, and I get a giveaway knife to give away. And I give it away, and I try to put in other stuff. But again, I'm going to run my channel the way I want to run it, And the rules I set down and everything are my rules, but they can change. It's not etched in stone and everything. But the thing that can't change on the giveaways is I can't give a knife away to somebody that lives overseas. I used to could, but because of tariffs, taxes, and knife laws and everything, it's to do an overseas giveaway, which I used to do at least once a year. I owe you guys one, so I need to do one this year, and we're running out of months. Guess what? It's gonna have to be a Christmas one, I guess. But that's next month. This is still November, and this is behind. I think this is the September knife giveaway. But anyways, we have this guy right here. Has some belly on it. This helps for carving also. If you have a thin blade, sometimes you want a thin blade when you're carving wood because you don't want to. You just want to cut and turn and be done with it. But if you're making a spoon, and everything, you want something that reaches out. Crap on my finger, picking up. I've been working, cleaning up around here. I did a little video. You'll see more cat videos of me talking to Scrappy or Stripey, by the way, because it's down to those two names, Stripey or Scrappy. I'm trying to get myself to say Scrappy enough so that he remembers, because he doesn't care. But if you say it enough, they will recognize their own name. So that's going to go in there. I always throw another knife and some other goodies and stuff like that. You can enter if you won before. It doesn't matter. Once you get their knife, it's yours. I don't care what you do with it. You can sell it. You can use it in another giveaway. It's your knife. But the reason why I do these, I don't want to see people that just like game snipe, They just look for giveaways. They're just looking for names and titles and stuff, And they want to figure out if there is a secret or what is, and they put it in there, entered. Well, okay. That's a lot of effort. Why don't you, if you're not even interested in the content, then, I don't know, I guess, whatever you want to do with your time in your life, that's up to you. It's not up to me to criticize. But that's what it was about belly. I just started thinking about that, and I was like, I love this cotton sampler, man. What is so great about it? Well, it's got some belly. It was originally designed to cut out a little core. That's annoying me, man. We got hand model violations right here. I don't know what I got into, but it stuck to me. Anyway, I just made it worse. All right. So there you go. I've wasted enough of your time. I know this is a long one, but there you go. Good luck to everyone that enters this, and enjoy your knives. See, here's Hawkbill. This has got some belly. It's got some curvature. See, it's either going to curve in or out and have belly, right? But it becomes useful because when you're cutting, you know, with a thin blade, when you cut, you're cut and you're done. I mean, that may be good because you don't want to, oh my God, let me fix this. Even I am like, trim your nails, you know, make sure your nails are relatively trim. Cleaning your hands as much, and then you pick up stuff that has been used for cleaning crap, and that's what happens. I'm not going to fix it. I'm not going to fix it. You've seen it. There's no undoing that. There it is. It's just a sight you've seen, you can't undo. And we don't have any hand model violations, you know. I will tell, senor. I will tell that Peppy. Don't be a snitch. Peppy, come on. Snitches get stitches. Yeah, it's much better to be a dick. Just tell them to their face, hey. Why don't you watch your hands before you make a video? I did. Jeez, I did. Things happen. Anyways, I am cleaning up more in here because, you know, a cat is low to the ground. And me being single and everything, and no pets, I don't sweep or clean up as much, but I have to now because he needs a place to chill out. So he's really, I love that cat, man. He's gonna make a great. It took Shadow a long time to even jump up in my lap. Same with Buddy. When they did it, I was surprised. Stripey, man. As soon as I laid him in here, and he realized that I ain't going to run him out, and it was okay for him to be in here. Of course, he, you know, explored around a little bit. He jumped right in my lap like it was perfectly fine with him. Got all comfy and started going to sleep. I went into the bedroom. Used to be, even with Buddy, he got up on the sink, you know, walked around and explored and everything. Even with Buddy, it took him a long time. Stripe-faced man, Scrappy, he comes in and just plops. Even though he may be hungry, he just comes over and just walks in and plops down, you know, like, what's on? Got a beer? Let's watch football. He's not really, you know, super hungry. Anyways, guess you can tell I love the cat. But, yeah, you'll see more of him. And I'm finding more things as I'm cleaning stuff up. That's stuff that I missed. Why don't you clean your hands up? Shut up. All right, where's your... Ooh, what almost got me? Ooh, this is... That would have hurt. That would have hurt. I had those open, you know, naked blade. I had those open because display purposes. I was going to show like Barlow has sort of a combination of both, a pin blade if you got a two-bladed one and something with a little bit of belly. But yeah, put down in the comment here. There. This is what he was looking for. Here's your throne. Put you back there. There's your merit badge. And don't pull the pin on that grenade. Anyways, there you go. Sorry for that. Like I said, I'll have more content and everything coming out. It's just that I've gone through a lot, been through a lot, still going through a lot, but we'll make it. We'll all make it, and I really appreciate your support in any way you can. You do not have to send. This is not a send me money thing, you know, request. But as you can see, if you watch the other videos, maybe I better mention this. I can work with management on, so you got a worn clip with some belly. The pet deposit. I don't have to come up with the $300 like that. And I've already got like over 100 set aside for it. So and that's just a one-time thing on the pet deposit. You do that and you're covered. I know they're going to raise the rent, but it's gonna happen anyway. But yeah, and then just feeding him because see, the kitten, I'm gonna feed it until somebody takes it, or until I stop seeing it, and then I'm gonna stop putting food out there. And there are no mama cats, and then he's gonna be my cat. And when his balls get snipped, he'll probably lose the urge to want to go outside. I'm gonna get him a kitty litter box because he talks to me. I mean, he has it's a lot of head language, head movement. He'll just stare at the door, or he'll give us like, meh. And that can mean a lot of things. But it's like, hey, open the door. And like yesterday, it was what I do is I escort him. Oh, here we go with another cat stop. But I escort him, just to see what he does, and he went out to take a crap. That's what he was going meh for. He went all the way out there. And I wanted to see him take a crap because you can tell the condition, whether he's got worms and stuff like that. And he had a little diarrhea at first, but then it solidified. I know this is probably too much information. But that's probably because of the rich diet he's been getting lately, I've been giving him really good food. So there you go. It's a long one. So you'll hear more from me. And yeah, everybody just hang in there. I mean, we as human beings have been through a lot worse than political unrest, financial unrest, social unrest, cosmic unrest. We've been through a lot. And I'm still around. I'm going to stick around. All right. This was another example. See, there's a lot of belly in that knife. And I love that knife. I love carrying knives with belly. So put in the comments if you would. Of course, the magic word, if you're eligible, which is lower 48 USA and of legal age to own the knife. And you'll be entered into the drawing. So, there you go. Quit your rambling. Shut up. Or you're going to get UV'd. I don't know why Scrappy don't like this knife. When I'm walking with it, I can carry it like, kind of like this in my hand. So it doesn't completely fall out. It's lightweight, thin blade, cuts like crazy, plenty of reach, locking, and inexpensive. I mean, he's a stray cat. I mean, he's adopted now, but I mean, he's a stray cat. Why should he get picky? Why should he have elaborate taste when he can't afford it? He should go with what he can afford. I can also open and close this thing with one hand. Just open, close. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with any knife. Anyway, yeah. No sign of shadow. I saw a little kitten yesterday. Mama cat's on a farm. And Strike Face can come and go at night if he wants. He usually goes out at night and stays out. And then in the day he comes in back and forth. Let's see if we can find him.